हुए और माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने भी यही आदेश दिए थे कि इसका हम लोगों को बहुत विशेष ध्यान रखना है और हमारे प्रयासों का परिणाम है कि आज न केवल इसमें साफ जल है बल्कि हम लोगों ने शिप्रा से पाइपलाइन से इसको कनेक्ट भी कर दिया जिससे 12 महीने इसमें साफ पानी रहा करेगा।
With that, it's a wrap from me on this edition. But Anand Narsimhan joins you next with Nation at 5.
Namaste, you're on the Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narsimhan coming to you live here from the newsroom at CNN News 18. And we are beginning with big news coming in from Uttar Pradesh, ladies and gentlemen, where the Uttar Pradesh Anti-Terror Squad or the ATS has made yet another big bust on a terror module. 8 people have been arrested. These are people with links with the Jamaat-ul Mujahideen Bangladesh and also the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. The suspects are linked to this terrorist organization, Jamaat-ul Mujahideen Bangladesh, and of course the AQIS. One of the people who's been arrested is a Bangladeshi national that's been confirmed. These people were conducting radicalization operations in Selampur, Jwalapur, Haridwar, in western UP and also in Uttarakhand. Also, 2.5 lakh rupees in cash has been discovered from these people. Pranshu Mishra will be joining us any moment now, but these are the photographs. This is the CNN News 18 exclusive. These are the photographs of the accused that we are putting up, right? Luqman, son of Imran, this is one. Al-Noor Stan, this is another person who's been arrested. The other one is Mohammad Kamil, then Mohammad Mudassir. He is from Nangla Imarti, Zila Haridwar. Then the fifth one is Qari Sahjad, who's the son of Ishrar. Then you have Mohammad Mukhtar, who's son of Ayub Hassan. There is Mohammad Alim, who's the son of Mohammad Salim, and also Nawazish Ansari, son of Munawwar Ali, who's from Giridih in Jharkhand. This person is from Kailashpur in Saharanpur. You have Mohammad Mukhtar, who's from Saharanpur again. You have Qari Shehzad, who's from Shamli, Zila Saharanpur. Again, you have Mohammad Kamil, who's from Thana Deoband, Zila Saharanpur. Mohammad Mudassir, who's also from Haridwar, Tehsil Roorkee in Uttarakhand. You have Ali Noor. Ali Noor is from Gopalganj in Dhaka. He's the Bangladeshi national who's been confirmed. This is Ali Noor. And you have Luqman, who's from Saharanpur again. So majority of these people, out of the 8 arrested, 1 Bangladeshi national, 1 of them from Uttarakhand, but all the others, 6 others, are from the Saharanpur area. Pranshu Mishra joins us with more details. Yes, Pranshu.
It's a big catch, and because this particular module, which is clearly the module of 2 major terror organizations, though they were trying to expand footprint. One is known as the Al-Qaeda Indian, and it is actually a subsidiary or a supplement of the international Al-Qaeda organization. The other, of course, as the Jamaat-ul Mujahideen, which is a Bangladesh-based terror organization, the JMB. Now, these two, this module was on the radar of investigative agencies for quite some time, and there were quite big catches made by the investigating agencies in the past, which included likes of Abdul Salah, who has been described as head of the JMB, then Ahsan, Muftikir, and Akil Ahmed in the past. On the basis of interrogation and sustained following of the cases, 8 more people have been arrested, and the names which you recounted are those 8 big shots who are basically residing in Uttar Pradesh. Most of them, 5 or 6 of them, were from Saharanpur. 1 was from Jharkhand, the other was from Uttarakhand, and 1, of course, his roots have been traced back to Bangladesh. So all these 8 people have now been arrested over subsequent operations that has been carried out by UP ATS over the past 24 hours. Now the interrogation will go on. The police will move in to get a police custody remand on them to identify what more they were actually intending to do. But clearly, as you also said, it is a major busting of a larger terror module, which was clearly linked to Al-Qaeda Indian and the Jamaat-ul Mujahideen Bangladesh.
This Bangladeshi national, was he in touch with another Bangladeshi terrorist or a wanted person? Who had sent the money? From whose person was this money found? 2.5 lakh rupees, Pranshu.
Yes, see, all this is still a part of investigation. And in fact, the person who had been arrested, who was masquerading and hiding his identity with several aliases, his original roots have also been traced to Bangladesh. So as I said, that at the moment, these arrests have been made. The first information has been shared with media, including the pictures of these accused people, what else their plan was, what instructions they have gotten from their masters, whether they have got any sort of, substantial, serious training in use of explosives, what other literature has been recovered, that still all remains under the domain of the investigating agencies. But yes, the recovery of cash, the recovery of some plans, that clearly indicates, and what UP ATS sources are telling us, that they have been able to bust a major, terror attack also, because it was clearly a terrorist module that was clearly linked to these two prominent terror organizations.
Well, thank you for your inputs, Pranshu. So big bust there, big success for the Uttar Pradesh ATS, cracking down on yet another terror module that was operating. 8 people arrested, 1 Bangladeshi national, 1 resident of Uttarakhand, and 6 people who are residing in and around the area of Saharanpur, and they were conducting radicalization operations, and also their involvement in terror operations. Money coming in from Bangladesh, their affiliations to the Jamaatul Mujahideen Bangladesh and the Al-Qaeda in the Indian subcontinent. Moving on to more news, and big news coming in from Punjab, where intelligence sources and government sources are telling CNN News 18 that there is perhaps the effort to try and breed and build another person like Bhindranwale. Amritpal Singh, the intelligence agencies are, this man is on the radar and his activities are on the radar. And is he trying to push the Khalistani narrative on ground? This is the biggest concern that's been raised, and it's been red flagged big time. We've got the details. Top intel sources within the government telling us that they are probing ISI's connection with Amritpal Singh. Is the ISI, as part of its K2 plan, Kashmir and Khalistan, trying to push this person to try and once again recreate this entire Khalistan movement and also create another option beyond Bhindranwale? Is Amritpal Singh the next Bhindranwale is the question that comes. Amritpal Singh is now the chief of Waris Punjab Day. This outfit was started by Deep Sidhu. It was floated by this activist Deep Sidhu. Amritpal Singh has returned to Punjab after 10 years. We are given to understand Deep Sidhu's family at this point has denied giving him any position, but Amritpal Singh is walking around and trying to claim that he is the one who's now going to champion this entire outfit called Waris Punjab Day. And this again had this separatist, secessionist bent and tone that it is taking. Amritpal Singh is holding freedom rallies in rural Punjab. Khalistan Zindabad slogans have been raised at Amritpal Singh's rallies. Amritpal Singh, we are given to understand, and that's what intel sources are telling CNN News 18, our investigations editor Manoj Gupta getting us these details, that he went to Georgia before coming to India via Dubai. The Home Ministry has asked the Punjab government to maintain vigil and observe and report the activities of Amritpal Singh. He's also been going to the native village of Bhindranwale and being and trying to operate there quite actively. Hemant Tatri is joining us, senior journalist, and also Alok Bansal, director, India Foundation. Alok ji, namaste. Hemant ji, namaste. Alok ji, first question, this activity on ground of trying to push this Khalistani narrative, there are allegations that those within government, those who are responsible for law and order in Punjab are aware of these activities. And somewhere there are rallies that are being taken out. People who are pushing this narrative, they are being given a free run.
See, this is extremely dangerous. Whatever I have read about this Amritpal Singh, he's actually a danger, and I think it needs to be nipped in the bud. We had this similar situation in the case of Sant Bhindranwale. Initially, he was a minor activist, and then he became a big menace. And then we had to go in for a full-fledged military operations. So I think a time has come when this Amritpal Singh, if you see his statements are provocative enough to take him to task. He has said that they will deal with they will deliver justice to anybody who, in their perception, has desecrated their religious texts or things like that, not the state. And he has been making statements against India, against government, propagating Khalistani viewpoint. I think a time has come. I think the state government must straight away crack down on him. I think both BJP and Congress have made this very clear that this is a danger that is lurking. And I think, unlike last time, we should not give him that sort of a leeway and must be apprehended as soon as possible, because this will be extremely dangerous if this movement actually picks up. Because at this point of time, a lot of external forces which are trying to destabilize India.
No, and not just that, religion becoming the point of entry. and to try and separate Sikhi from Hinduism. That's one narrative. The other one is to put up posters of Bhindranwale and try and collect donations. And this is not happening only on Indian soil, it's happening abroad too. It's happening in Australia, it's happening in the UK, it's happening across the world, wherever there is a Sikh population, in Canada. And Hemant Atri, recently there were rallies in Punjab which were conducted, where these kind of slogans were raised.
See, Anand, Amritpal issue has two angles on which the state and central government should work. First of all, in just a span of 50 days, he has become such a menace. He came back to India from Dubai on 20th of August precisely. And the things that he has been doing, he is donning the attire of Bhindranwale and, trying to popularize the Sikh sentiment in his own way. We have to understand 2-3 quick points. First of all, there is a vacuum as far as this hardcore Sikhi party is concerned. This man is trying to get into that space, point number one. Number two, this man has earlier also tried to do the same things which he's doing now. But there is a Supreme Court order when it has been said that only using the Bhindranwale's photographs don't lead to anything. So there are 2-3 things that the state government as well as the union government need to take care of. First of all, state government has to keep a very, very tight visual on him, his activities, and government of India needs to keep an eye through their, intelligence sources and whatever, which are coming from across the border, particularly Pakistan, Rinda, and Canada, Britain, and so many other international places. Now the thing is, Punjab is sitting on a volcano, and Anand, you will ask me how. There is an n number of unemployed youth who are wandering around. They are the soft targets for drug peddlers. They are the softest target for gangsters. And in the same way, they can be, turned into hardcore, particularly religious kind of elements. The same thing happened in 1980s. And the Punjab government, if they don't, address this unemployment issue, this is going to be a big menace. For the very simple reason, these unemployment youths, these people, on the first available opportunity, they are, ready to sell their lands and everything and to want to go abroad. These kind of stuff, particularly these hardliners, they can help them while using them in terrorist activities here. And then subsequently, they can get them help to get them settled in Australia, Britain, Canada, and then they can again become a big menace. The state government needs to keep a very, very close track, and the same is the case for union government to keep from across the border. Otherwise, this is going to be a big menace, Anand. Yeah.
Right. But Alokji, how do we tackle something like this? Because this narrative is being spread by those people who left India, who are in Canada. There were recently huge amounts. There was a referendum that was conducted there. These outfits are operating there. Numbers are being claimed that to how many people came there. They have direct connect with people on ground here in India. This man is getting a free run. There are other visuals which are again contested and perhaps unconfirmed reports that under state protection and police protection, these kind of rallies are being taken out on the streets of Punjab. Why should these kind of elements be allowed a free run? The point of entry is religion. And again, what their utterances are is to try and separate Sikhism from Hinduism. This is clearly what the ISI has always peddled.
Absolutely. And in fact, not only that, he's trying to become the sole spokesperson because he's actually countering other groups also like Dal Khalsa, etc. He wants to emerge as the sole voice. That is what Bhindranwale had done. So this is actually a very, very dangerous proposition. I think at this point of time, the Sikh community, the Punjab government must come out and come out emphatically. Civil society must move. His Twitter account has been disbanded, but we need to also act on his Facebook and other social media platforms. His speeches, etc., needs to be censored. We need to know what he's speaking. And the moment you get even a small ground, he must be, I think, apprehended. I have no doubts. It will be much better to apprehend him right in the beginning and keep him incarcerated if required for a longish period. Because right now, he's still budding danger. In due course, he'll become a real threat. And at this point of time, of course, Pakistan is trying to prevent trouble. Punjab and Kashmir, that is well known. So we have to also look at the money trail that is leading to him because no organization like this can thrive without the finances. So how are the finances coming? And that is where I think the agencies have to work out. The money trail needs to be traced out and that will probably actually fix
No,
him up.
the money is drugs because that's what's doing the rounds. That's what's being funneled. And then along with that is explosives, Hemant Atri. And we've been tracking this story that the amount of drugs that's been caught or that is coming into and making its way into Punjab. And it's a huge menace. The drug menace there. There are videos that have gone viral on social media, again unconfirmed, which say that it's all available openly on the streets.
No, Anandji, it is very clearly established now. Earlier also, if you see, if you go back 6 months back, there were the traces of these drugs for say about 500 grams, 200 grams. Now they are coming in quintals and tons. So there must be some big network working on the ground in Punjab as well as the adjacent areas. And these are coming from various routes in Bombay, in Kerala, in Gujarat, and so many other places. They are taking now ship route as well as Pakistan is sending through these, what you call it, UAVs. So the thing is, this gentleman, particularly Amritpal, he was there in Dubai for last 10 years, right? He was busy into his family business of transport. What is the reason that he has come all the way to India to stay back here? He never used to wear those kind of, dresses or whatever. Once he has got back, he's donning the attire of Mr. Bhindrewala exactly. And these kind of elements, they have very popular support from the unemployed youth, the fringe elements there are. Although they are very few as of now in numbers. But you never know when they can swell up due to these political, social reasons. Now the thing is, how the Punjab government is going to address this? They can't be soft on this. They have to understand one thing, that if they just don't nip this evil in the bud, this can create huge menace for them. This is not a political thing. It is much beyond that.
Is it about just one person? Is it just about one person, Hemant Atri?
No.
Amritpal Singh may be quietened down. He may be asked to go back or deported or however, whatever action is taken. But is there enough and more that's already doing the rounds? Because there is also the soft entry that is happening. Look at the kind of Sidhu Moosewala. He was murdered, yes, but what was the kind of music that he was peddling? What were the lyrics that he was pushing? Yeah. He was pushing gun culture. He was pushing soft separatism. There are other people who are doing music. All this music that is coming from UK is all pushing a particular narrative even in the lyrics. And that's what's being consumed by the audience here because it's freely available.
Exactly. And this is not an individual working. It's a phenomenon working. Yesterday it was somebody. Tomorrow it will be somebody. Today it is somebody else. See what Mr. Deep Sidhu was doing. What he did on the Red Fort. Was it called for? Why he was getting into the popular sport of farmer agitation? We have to take care of all these things. And one has to understand that these are not individuals. Although they have very, very thin support as of now, as far as fringe elements is concerned. But once they are peddled through Pakistani finance or drug finances, drug addiction or whatever they are. So this can create a huge Punjab as of now cannot, bear the burden of violence or militancy at this stage.
See, point is the narrative setting is being done very, very brazenly and that too the software. I talked about music, but that's what they're using. They're using religion, they're using music. Alok Bansalji, the direct references of UK to Pakistan, the fact that it is you feel you're from Lahore or you're from Punjab, so the equations are being drawn like that, and it's all there, and it's being peddled all across. People are dancing to it and singing this. That's how it is entering into our system.
We need to clamp down on this sort of a separatist narrative, this sort of a dangerous narrative. I think social media, big tech companies need to be involved and told that this sort of a narrative cannot be peddled on social media. This cannot be brought in. I think if the government acts, many of these things can be stopped. But as I said, Amritpal Singh may be a manifestation, but for some time we have been seeing that radicalization, a particular narrative has been peddled among Sikhs that to propagate a fundamentalist separatist narrative. And we have seen that whenever Akali Dal actually gets politically marginalized, we see rise in radicalization and fundamentalism in Punjab also. So that is also a factor which we need to take into account. Of course, the state government has been really not proactive in dealing with these issues. Probably they are a new government, they have no experience. Because this sort of things need to be nipped in the bud. And I think as former Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh has said, that this is a huge danger. And I think the state government must act as soon as possible.
Right.
they need to do. As far as central
Jay.
government is concerned, all this sort of software which is coming into India, the songs, the videos, all this need to be clamped down, at least on the legal mediums which are available. That is the big tech firms, social media, etc. We can clamp down to a very great extent on this.
On the
And
one
I
hand,
think,
there is disrespect and beadbi that is happening at Gurdwara Punjab Sahib. On the other hand, they are also turning around and saying that no, you identify with us and not with India, not with Bharat. Both things are happening at the same time and none is the wiser. And you have people like elements like Amritpal Singh and those who are backing him getting a free run in the state of Punjab to push a narrative which is again going to try and hurt the entire consciousness of Bharat. This is something which is serious and sinister and needs to be taken cognizance of. And clearly the Home Ministry advising the state government of Punjab to immediately act on this man and monitor his movements and his utterances. We're going to quickly move on. We got another news and big development coming through, which is pointing towards a fast balkanization of Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, where the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan's reign of terror in Pakistan is now very, very apparent. They have really upped the activity in the Swat region. Now, top intel sources are saying that there have been multiple TTP attacks on security forces and civilians in the last 6 weeks. Terror attacks in Swat schools also now have happened, killing 4 including 3 students in these attacks. Schools in the Swat Valley have been vandalized. The staff has been threatened by the TTP. TTP is actually running a kidnapping and extortion racket in that region. Kidnapped private cellular firm workers and they are demanding 100 million rupees, Pakistani rupees, as ransom. Locals are saying that the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has established hideouts in the hills of Matta Tehsil. TTP fighters killed 5 soldiers in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region on the 6th of September. 5 more were killed in TTP bombing in northwestern Pakistan on the 13th of September. Alok Bansalji stays on with us. So Alokji, the TTP now upping its activities in the Swat region. There was a period of lull where there was talk that the Pakistan establishment, the military and the government is trying to work out a solution with the TTP and trying to broker peace. All that seems to have now fallen flat, with Pakistan hanging Afghanistan out to dry.
See, TTP, if you go into the history, you will see that every negotiations with the state has actually been used by TTP to expand its influence. In fact, if you go into the history from South Waziristan to North Waziristan to Bajaur, then Mohmand, and then of course into Swat Valley. The current round also is that the Pakistan sent a delegation to Afghanistan to negotiate with them. That negotiation not only gave them respectability, but also gave them time to regroup and move. And now they have enhanced their influence so much that there was a video circulating where a Pakistani army major is seen in captivity, a police officer and another soldier is lying on the ground, and TTP is interrogating them. So those have been circulated. One of the local leaders who from ANP, who was actually in the forefront of countering them, has been eliminated, and TTP has set up checkposts in different parts of Swat, and situation seems to be returning to what it was in 2007 or so. So we have a situation which is growing, and Swat, which is seen as Pakistan's Switzerland because of the number of tourists that they go there, because of the snow-clad mountains, etc., is now reverting back to the same situation as it happened, as it existed when Fazlullah was ruling the roost in Swat Valley. So we have a serious issue.
Because Imran Khan was claiming that he's almost brokered peace. There was talk that the army has been able to try and bring the TTP around. Is that now all days of the past or forgotten? And is this also a reaction which is happening because the Taliban are somewhere supporting the TTP? How do you see this sudden upping of hostilities and activity by the TTP in that region?
See, one thing we must be very clear, that irrespective of who helped bring Taliban to power in Afghanistan, Taliban is an ideological outfit and will support every single fundamentalist outfit which propounds the same sectarian religious views as propounded by them. So TTP follows the same thing. They consider Amirul Muminin as Mullah Akhundzada only. So notionally they are following the same leader. So Taliban will never ever act drastically against them. So now whole Afghanistan is available as a safe haven. And now that the conflict has ended, so many weapons are floating around in Afghanistan. So all those weapons are also available to TTP. So TTP just has to move across into Pakistan, and they have started doing it. Already in erstwhile FATA areas, they have their presence is there, but they have moved in a big way in Swat. And this is going to affect Pakistan in a very, very big way. Very soon, you will see in Karachi, where there are already traces that TTP factions have started showing their presence. So the biggest city in Pakistan will have TTP. Of course, FATA and Swat, which have been traditionally the strongholds of TTP, already you are seeing signs of TTP's emergence.
Right. Captain Alok Bansal, thank you for your inputs and thank you for joining us here on The Nation at 5. Hemant Atri, thank you for your inputs. We're going to take a very short break here. When we come back, communal flare-up in Bengal on the occasion of Sharad Purnima. Stay with us.
राज्यपाल गौतम का इस्तीफा लेना पड़ा। अरविंद केजरीवाल को यह समझ में आ गया है कि हिंदू देवी देवताओं को गाली देकर, हिंदुओं के धर्म परिवर्तन का टारगेट बनाकर आप इस देश में, भारत में राजनीति नहीं कर सकते हैं। ऐसी राजनीति इस देश के लोग चलने नहीं देंगे।
The Election Commission has directed Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray to not use the name Shiv Sena or the party symbol, the bow and arrow. Both parties will have to now submit their new symbols tomorrow ahead of next month's by-election. The Uddhav camp has already come out with its proposals. The Eknath Shinde group, meanwhile, has accused Uddhav Thackeray of making false affidavits. Police has seized 4,862 fake affidavits. FIR has also been registered in that case. Uddhav camp is likely to move the Supreme Court against the decision of the Election Commission to freeze the party's name and symbol. Remember, both the factions have been asked to submit their party's new symbols by 10th of October. BJP has lashed out against the Uddhav camp after EC froze the Shiv Sena's symbol. They have accused Uddhav Thackeray of having lost his Hindutva plank, now the party and the symbol.
सुना है बारामती में पटाखे फोड़े जा रहे हैं, दिवाली मनाई जा रही है, और इसे ही कहते हैं दोस्ती का नाटक करते हुए पीठ में खोपा गया खंजीर, या उद्धव जी की भाषा में गद्दारी।
उद्धव ठाकरे जी की शिवसेना ने सब खो दिया। पहले हिंदुत्व, फिर सरकार, उसके बाद में सिंबल, अब नाम भी गया। और सबसे महत्व की बात कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता का विश्वास भी उद्धव ठाकरे की शिवसेना ने खो दिया।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah is on a 3-day tour to the northeast and he visited the Kamakya temple in Assam's Guwahati, sought the blessings of goddess Kamakya. He was accompanied by the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma. He also visited the Golaghat district to inaugurate the 2-day conference of the Superintendents of Police at the Police Training College. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman slammed Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao after he renamed his party from TRS to BRS. She alleged that the name was changed due to belief in occult practices. She further added that KCR stopped going to the Secretariat or inducting women for many years in his cabinet based on advice given by his tantric. Telangana Education Minister hit back at the Finance Minister, saying there were 2 women ministers in the KCR cabinet for the last 3 years. KCR cabinet minister further added that it's embarrassing on part of the Finance Minister that she is not informed on basic information. Telangana BJP president joined in hitting out at KCR. He added that KCR has been performing tantric pujas for few years now and it was a tantric who instructed him to change the name of the party to prevent losing elections. After the railways changed the name of Tipu Express to Wadiyar Express, AIMIM chief has attacked the central government by tweeting that Tipu Sultan irks the BJP because he waged 3 wars against his British masters. He further added that another train could have been named after the Wadiyars. BJP will never be able to erase Tipu's legacy, he said, as he was scared that Britishers even scare them now. BJP was quick to hit out at the AIMIM chief. Amit Malviya, the IT cell chief of the BJP, said in a tweet that BJP does not want to erase Tipu's legacy. On the contrary, it wants to show its true legacy. Malviya further added that Tipu was a barbarian who oppressed and tortured Hindus and Christians. Politics has erupted over the Mahakal corridor in Madhya Pradesh. Congress has claimed that the budget of 300 crore rupees was allocated for the beautification of the city by the former Kamalnath government. Remember, the first phase of the Mahakal corridor, which was built at the cost of 856 crore rupees, will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi on the 11th of October. Amid the ongoing debate regarding population imbalance, AIMIM chief Assaduddin Owaisi has lashed out at RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Owaisi added that the population of Muslims isn't increasing but falling because of their use of condoms.
टोटल फर्टिलिटी रेट वो 2% हो गया, माने इंडिया का फर्टिलिटी रेट बहुत ज्यादा गिरा। और सबसे ज्यादा अगर टीएफआर रेट गिरा, मुसलमानों का गिरा। सबसे ज्यादा कॉन्डोम कौन इस्तेमाल कर रहा? नहीं, ये बताने के लिए हम इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। मोहन भागवत इस पर नहीं बोलेंगे।
After Election Commission froze the Shiv Sena logo and forbade both factions from using it, Uddhav's faction hit back at the EC, calling the action unjust and stating that the EC is working on the same lines as the CBI. He said that the logo has been frozen long back by their faction.
7 तारीख को हम लोगों ने 4 बजे उनको सारे कागजात दे दिए थे। उनके आपस में संवाद अच्छी ठीक नहीं थे, इसके लिए उनको पता ही नहीं चला कि हमने दे दिए। अब सुनवाई कुछ भी नहीं हुई, निर्णय ले गया और निर्णय लेकर उन्होंने हमारा जो चुनाव चिन्ह है उसको फ्रीज कर दिया। क्यों नहीं करेंगे? क्लेम करेंगे, हम करेंगे, लेकिन ये कब होगा? जब जांच होगी तब। ये चुनाव आयोग भी उसमें गया जिसमें सीबीआई ईडी हो, जो हम लोग लाइन में, उसी लाइन में चुनाव आयोग।
Congress's presidential candidate Shashi Tharoor has expressed the need for reinstating strength in the party to gain voters. He said that the Congress has to run the country nicely, also adding that the BJP should prepare themselves to sit in the opposition in 2024.
परिवर्तन हमारे पार्टी में चाहिए और ये परिवर्तन ले आने वाला मैं सोचता हूं कि मैं हूं परिवर्तन की उम्मीदवार। बदलाव के लिए मैं खड़ा हूं, तो मैं मांग रहा हूं आप सब लोग के समर्थन। ये मैं डेलीगेट्स को कह रहा हूं, तो मैं आपके सामने ये पेश कर रहा हूं।
Haryana Home Minister Anil Vij has hit out at AIMIM chief Assaduddin Owaisi for his comment on declining Muslim population in India. Vij rebutted and said that population should further drop down and hum do hamare do should be followed.
AIMIM के चीफ असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जी ने कहा है कि हिंदुस्तान में मुसलमानों की आबादी गिर रही है। अगर गिर रही है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, परंतु इसको और गिराओ और इसको हम दो हमारे दो तक लाओ।
Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the solar village in Modera in Gujarat. Modera has been declared India's first renewable energy village. Prime Minister is on a 3-day visit to election-bound Gujarat, where he will be inaugurating development projects over 14,500 crore rupees.
मोढेरा के लिए विकास की नई ऊर्जा का संचार हुआ है। बिजली, पानी से लेकर रोड, रेल तक कौशल विकास और स्वास्थ्य से जुड़े अनेक प्रोजेक्ट्स का आज लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास हुआ है।
Prime Minister Modi visited Modera Surya Mandir and inaugurated the Light and Sound Show. He also attended and watched the glimpses of the spectacular Light and Sound Show, which will be open for the general public from tomorrow. Gujarat's Modera is India's first solar-powered village, and the Light and Sound Show will be powered by solar energy. Delhi Minister Rajendra Gautam resigned from the post of Social Welfare Minister after his involvement in the mass conversion controversy to Buddhism. Gautam announced that his resignation in a letter typed on his letterhead, which he tweeted out. The former minister said that the BJP has been targeting several sections of the society for political gains and he cannot be a mute spectator to that. Gautam further added that he resigned not under pressure.
मैं कभी किसी के फेथ को आहत कभी नहीं करता, किसी की भावनाओं को आहत कभी नहीं करता। मेरे ऊपर कोई दबाव नहीं है। मैं एक वकील हूं पेशे से। मुख्यमंत्री जी अभी रैली में हैं गुजरात में। मैंने अपना उनको भेज दिया है, अपना ये दो पेज के पत्र में मैंने सब कुछ लिख के उनको भेज दिया है। मैं तो एक कट्टर देशभक्त व्यक्ति हूँ और डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर और तथागत बुद्ध की शिक्षाओं को मानने वाला हूँ और उसमें मेरी आस्था है।
Post the resignation of the Aam Aadmi Party minister, BJP has hit out. They said that Arvind Kejriwal and in its hard way and the politics on Hindus does not fare well. BJP also expressed this as a win for the Hindus of the state of Gujarat.
जिस प्रकार से केजरीवाल को वडोदरा से गुजरात से भागना पड़ा, जनता का जो गुस्सा कल केजरीवाल ने देखा है, उसके कारण दिल्ली में वापस आते ही राजेंद्र पाल गौतम का इस्तीफा लेना पड़ा। अरविंद केजरीवाल को यह समझ में आ गया है कि हिंदू देवी देवताओं को गाली देकर, हिंदुओं के धर्म परिवर्तन का टारगेट बनाकर आप इस देश में, भारत में राजनीति नहीं कर सकते हैं। ऐसी राजनीति इस देश के लोग चलने नहीं देंगे।
The Election Commission has directed Eknath Shinde and Uddhav Thackeray to not use the name Shiv Sena or the party's symbol, the bow and arrow. Both parties will have to now submit their new symbols tomorrow ahead of next month's by-election. The Uddhav camp has already come out with its proposals. The Eknath Shinde group, meanwhile, has accused Uddhav Thackeray of making false affidavits. Police has seized 4,862 fake affidavits. FIR has also been registered in that case. Uddhav camp is likely to move the Supreme Court against the decision of the Election Commission to freeze the party's name and symbol. Remember, both the factions have been asked to submit their party's new symbols by 10th of October. BJP has lashed out against the Uddhav camp after EC froze the Shiv Sena's symbol. They have accused Uddhav Thackeray of having lost his Hindutva plank, now the party and the symbol.
सुना है बारामती में पटाखे फोड़े जा रहे हैं, दिवाली मनाई जा रही है और इसे ही कहते हैं दोस्ती का नाटक करते हुए पीठ में खोपा गया खंजीर, या उद्धव जी की भाषा में गद्दारी।
उद्धव ठाकरे जी की शिवसेना ने सब खो दिया। पहले हिंदुत्व, फिर सरकार, उसके बाद में सिंबल, अब नाम भी गया।
Back on the nation at 5 with news coming in from Bengal, and it's disturbing development in the Mominpur area where clashes erupted and it led to vandalism, destruction of public property and of course plenty of arson and rioting which is seen on ground, and fisticuffs between two communities. Cops were also attacked by this mob. Tensions erupted after clashes over Lakshmi Puja on the occasion of Sharad Purnima. The BJP is raining fire on the Trinamool Congress government for the deteriorating law and order situation. BJP leader Shukanto Majumdar was detained on his way to Mominpur. Leader of the opposition, Shuvendu Adhikari, has written to the Home Minister Amit Shah urging him to deploy central forces and carried out a protest march to Raj Bhavan. BJP leader Swapan Das Gupta has also written to the Prime Minister. The Trinamool, meanwhile, has hit back at the BJP saying demand for central forces is purely political and the Bengal police is capable of handling these incidents. Section 144 has been imposed in the entire area and for the moment the situation is calm and peaceful. Abhishek Banerjee and Tushar Gupta joining us here on the Nation at 5 for more on this. Abhishek Banerjee, it's coming down to now who started it, and that there was provocation and there is reaction. So action led to reaction, and that's why we are seeing what's happening on the streets in Mominpur. But on the other hand, there are questions about a huge amount of communal divide.
Yeah. So Anand, what I will say is that basically this term minority that we use, it has become inoperable in many parts of Bengal. I mean, if you see regions like Iqbalpur or Khirirpur where this violence is happening, I mean, those areas, the demography has changed a long time ago. So what is happening there is not really different from what happens in places like Bangladesh. That is the first point. The second point is that there is a systematic failure of the state, and not just from today, from all levels, starting somewhere in 1977, where the official organs of the government, the police is simply not in charge of law and order in Bengal. It has not been in charge since 1977, since the communists came to power. What is happening is that all law enforcement is done by this system of party cadres, and not just law enforcement, from municipal violations to dispensing justice, giving out welfare schemes. Everything is managed through the party organization instead of civil servants or police or everything. So the party cadres, they do everything. And now because the party cadres, they do everything, now whenever there is some violence somewhere there, and we were seeing that the police is also getting attacked because the police has ceased to be part of the the government. Everything is essentially being done through the party cadre system. And because the party cadres, they are indisciplined, that is why we are seeing these outbreaks of violence. And the third thing that we have is that because it is all up to party cadres who enforce, through strength, they enforce all the rules and regulations, there is a lot of arms and ammunition everywhere. I was just Googling. I can encourage everyone who is watching this show to just Google West Bengal crude bomb. You will see that just 17 September, it's only a few weeks ago, a bomb fell on a school in Titagarh. So there are now schools that are being bombed. So there are crude bombs everywhere. Every week there is some factory of crude bomb that blows up. So all these people, they have all these arms and weapons and ammunition. And so they are just miscreants. They're just looking for an opportunity. Something happens. These are indisciplined people. They start fighting. There is violence. And that is the real problem, because the state has completely abdicated all its responsibility and everything is done through these party cadres.
But why would any state want to do something like that, Tushar Gupta? Because law and order is a state subject, and law and order also is perhaps a denomination where you get voted back into power. Look at what happened in Uttar Pradesh. So why wouldn't a Mamata Banerjee want a situation where things are on the boil more often than not?
It's becoming second nature of the TMC to attack, or to rather endorse attacks on unarmed, innocent Hindus. This is not something that we've seen for the first time today. It's Momipur today, but it has been the nature of Bengal now for a while. Look at what the NHRC report, the 50-page report that was on the post-poll violence in Bengal said. It said that the state apparatus was employed by the TMC to attack people who had been voting for the BJP, who were supporting for the BJP. A few families actually had to flee to Assam and other neighboring states. So the first aspect is that it's becoming second nature of the TMC to attack Hindus in Bengal. Now, why do they do it? That's the question you're asking. The very good question. Because how can a state afford to be like that? Now, the first aspect is the minority vote is taken care of. Label it on the infiltration from Bangladesh, which has largely gone unchecked in the last decade, or label it on the urban elite of Calcutta who do not understand what is going on in rural West Bengal. These two aspects have been taken care of by the TMC, apart from the Bengali pride, which refuses to see beyond the TMC and the realities on the ground. There is no other explanation for that, Anand. BJP is not a threat to Bengal with 70-odd seats in the assembly. So they have no reason to carry out this political violence as many like to describe. This is the second nature of the TMC of its cadre. You are seeing that police is being attacked. Where is it possible in any other state? Now, either the police is a part of the state apparatus which is attacking the Hindus on the orders of the TMC cadre, or instead it is being attacked by the TMC cadre. There is no third way. That is very, very threatening to me. So where is it all coming from? It has the endorsement from the top leadership of the TMC. And that is what is the problem here, that the TMC, as Abhishek also rightly pointed out, it's all being run by the cadre, and they are running a very anarchist-like government in the state. Now, that will kill the investments prospects, that will kill the economy in the long run. But most importantly, Anand, this is the worrying part. It will ensure that Hindus flee the state now or later. That is the one reality we all need to wake up to.
But the allegation or the counter that has also come is that this was all started because there was religious sentiment of the Muslims that was hurt by a group of volatile Hindus. That they got bashed up later on, but it all started from there. So is it just a one-way street of Hindu bashing? Or is it that there are those who are deliberately going ahead and stoking problems, especially in areas like Mominpur? Abhishek Banerjee.
Yeah. So, Anand, what I will say is, first of all, we do not know exactly who has started. But point is, at the end of the day, how many people might have started? Is it 5 people or on one side or 5 people on the other side? Why will such a small thing create such large amount of violence? Why is this happening? Because everything is in the hand. Because West Bengal has turned into what the communists used to call the party state. where the officials are no longer in charge. It's the party cadres who are in charge, and they have no discipline. So they find some five people. We saw in places like Birbhum, where there was this 10 TMC sympathizers sort of. They were murdered. They were killed in a very gruesome, in a very grisly way. So there are these fights that are bound to break out. If you have 10 people in a room, 5 of them, they are going to fight with each other. But the point is, because the cadre, they have no discipline, but they have all the power. Anything that happens, the smallest disturbance anywhere, it immediately turns into a fire, and the state has completely abdicated its responsibility, runs everything through cadres. So that is why this violence is just out of control. Like I said, just Google West Bengal crude bomb. You will be stunned at just how many crude bomb explosions happen all the time, all over West Bengal. It's not even reported because it's so common, nobody even cares.
Well, if you want to not just crude bombs, you could also look at the split of Bengal, and you would see that it all started with incidences like this, where the demographic denomination or the demographic complexion itself had changed. Now on ground, if law and order is a state subject, and you believe that somebody as popular as Mamata Banerjee has a firm grip on the state, then who is to blame for what is happening in Bengal at this point in time? We'll take this further later tonight on debate number 2 on the right stand. But for the moment, Tushar Gupta and Abhishek Banerjee, thank you for your inputs. We're going to take a very short break here on The Nation at 5. When we come back, it's India's Oscar nomination, the last film show, and its makers that we talk. Stay with us.
Already come out with his proposals. The Eknath Shinde group, meanwhile, has accused Uddhav Thackeray of making false affidavits. Police has seized 4,862 fake affidavits. FIR has also been registered in that case. Uddhav camp is likely to move the Supreme Court against the decision of the Election Commission to freeze the party's name and symbol. Remember, both the factions have been asked to submit their party's new symbols by 10th of October. BJP has lashed out against the Uddhav camp after EC froze the Shiv Sena's symbol. They have accused Uddhav Thackeray of having lost his Hindutva plank, now the party and the symbol.
सुना है बारामती में पटाखे फोड़े जा रहे हैं, दिवाली मनाई जा रही है, और इसे ही कहते हैं दोस्ती का नाटक करते हुए पीठ में खोपा गया खंजीर, या उद्धव जी की भाषा में गद्दारी।
उद्धव ठाकरे जी की शिवसेना ने सब खो दिया। पहले हिंदुत्व, फिर सरकार, उसके बाद में सिंबल, अब नाम भी गया। और सबसे महत्व की बात कि महाराष्ट्र की जनता का विश्वास भी उद्धव ठाकरे की शिवसेना ने खो दिया।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah is on a 3-day tour to the northeast and he visited the Kamakya temple in Assam's Guwahati, sought the blessings of goddess Kamakya. He was accompanied by the Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma. He also visited the Golaghat district to inaugurate the 2-day conference of the Superintendents of Police at the Police Training College. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman slammed Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao after he renamed his party from TRS to BRS. She alleged that the name was changed due to belief in occult practices. She further added that KCR stopped going to the Secretariat or inducting women for many years in his cabinet based on advice given by his tantric. Telangana Education Minister hit back at the Finance Minister, saying there were 2 women ministers in the KCR cabinet for the last 3 years. KCR cabinet minister further added that it's embarrassing on part of the finance minister that she is not informed on basic information. Telangana BJP president joined in hitting out at KCR. He added that KCR has been performing tantric pujas for few years now, and it was a tantric who instructed him to change the name of the party to prevent losing elections. After the railways changed the name of Tipu Express to Wadiyar Express, AIMIM chief has attacked the central government by tweeting that Tipu Sultan irks the BJP because he waged 3 wars against his British masters. He further added that another train could have been named after the Wadiyars. BJP will never be able to erase Tipu's legacy, he said, as he was scared that Britishers even scare them now. BJP was quick to hit out at the AIMIM chief Amit Malviya. The IT cell chief of the BJP said in a tweet that BJP does not want to erase Tipu's legacy. On the contrary, it wants to show its true legacy. Malviya further added that Tipu was a barbarian who oppressed and tortured Hindus and Christians. Politics has erupted over the Mahakal corridor in Madhya Pradesh. Congress has claimed that the budget of 300 crore rupees was allocated for the beautification of the city by the former Kamalnath government. Remember, the first phase of the Mahakal corridor, which was built at the cost of 856 crore rupees, will be inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi on the 11th of October. Amid the ongoing debate regarding population imbalance, AIMIM chief Assaduddin Owaisi has lashed out at RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Owaisi added that the population of Muslims isn't increasing but falling because of their use of condoms.
Total fertility rate.
"24 weeks of unparalleled domination. India's indisputable number one, CNN News 18, on your side."
After Election Commission froze the Shiv Sena logo and forbade both factions from using it, Uddhav's faction hit back at the EC, calling the action unjust and stating that the EC is working on the same lines as the CBI. He said that the logo has been frozen long back by their faction.
7 तारीख को हम लोगों ने 4 बजे उनको सारे कागजात दे दिए थे। उनके आपस में संवाद अच्छी ठीक नहीं थे, इसके लिए उनको पता ही नहीं चला कि हमने दे दिए। अब सुनवाई कुछ भी नहीं हुई, निर्णय ले गया और निर्णय लेकर उन्होंने हमारा जो चुनाव चिन्ह है उसको फ्रीज कर दिया। क्यों नहीं करेंगे? क्लेम करेंगे, हम करेंगे, लेकिन ये कब होगा? जब जांच होगी तब। ये चुनाव आयोग भी उसमें ही गया जिसमें सीबीआई ईडी हो, जो हम लोग लाइन में है, उसी लाइन में चुनाव आयोग।
Congress's presidential candidate Shashi Tharoor has expressed the need for reinstating strength in the party to gain voters. He said that the Congress has to run the country nicely, also adding that the BJP should prepare themselves to sit in the opposition in 2024.
परिवर्तन हमारे पार्टी में चाहिए और ये परिवर्तन ले आने वाला मैं सोचता हूं कि मैं हूं परिवर्तन की उम्मीदवार। बदलाव के लिए मैं खड़ा हूं, तो मैं मांग रहा हूं आप सब लोग के समर्थन। ये मैं डेलीगेट्स को कह रहा हूं, तो मैं आपके सामने ये पेश कर रहा हूं।
Haryana Home Minister Anil Vij has hit out at AIMIM chief Assaduddin Owaisi for his comment on declining Muslim population in India. Vij rebutted and said that population should further drop down and hum do hamare do should be followed.
AIMIM के चीफ असदुद्दीन ओवैसी जी ने कहा है कि हिंदुस्तान में मुसलमानों की आबादी गिर रही है। अगर गिर रही है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, परंतु इसको और गिराओ और इसको हम दो हमारे दो तक लाओ।
Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the solar village in Modera in Gujarat. Modera has been declared India's first renewable energy village. Prime Minister is on a 3-day visit to election-bound Gujarat, where he will be inaugurating development projects over 14,500.
Siddharth Roy Kapoor, Dheer Mumaya, and Nalin, thank you very, very much. Congratulations first up. Let me first ask you कि Friday को पिक्चर देखें या Thursday को 95 रुपीस में देखें? सिद्धार्थ.
If you are not intending to watch it on Friday, then please watch it on Thursday for 95 rupees. Otherwise,
but what's the thought? Because 95th Oscar, so that's why Thursday you can watch it 95 rupees.
The name of the film is Last Film Show, so we thought that we'll be remiss in our marketing efforts if we don't do a last film show on the eve of the release. Secondly, the idea really is to get as many people to sample the film as possible. So 95 rupees and the sort of 95th Academy Awards was a nice little marketing peg, but also, frankly, a sampling exercise to make sure that as many people can watch the film and get the word of mouth going. So that's really the plan behind it.
Well, I have to say, मैंने तो picture देख ली, but फिर भी just for that last film show, I will do it. But Nalin, let me ask you, should I watch the last film show or cello show
or should I watch Cinema Paradiso? We're having some fun about that on
Both.
Twitter, aren't we?
I would say watch both, absolutely, any day.
Because you were also cryptic. Is it a copy or is it inspired? And you're also having fun with those who said, "अरे ये तो 88 की जो picture है, जिसको award मिला वैसी picture वापस बनाई है इसने." So let me ask you that.
The answer will be there. There's a very generous invitation now to sample the film with only $95. All it costs is 95 rupees Thursday night. All answers will be there.
But I also want to do, did you deliberately poke the bear when you guys decided, let's make the posters look alike? Let's use the same inspiration. So you said, copy a inspiration and decided to video. I said, no, I want to poke the bear here.
No, because we live in an information age of images, and there was only one way to look at the film. If you look at even Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, even our own Dada Saheb Phalke, they all look the movie same way, whether it's Cinema Paradiso, Godard, is the most famous iconic image is Godard looking at the film with cigar in his mouth. So I think that was, it's how the cinema was celebrated, because it has to be always against the light to be seen, otherwise it meant nothing. If there was no light, the celluloid had no meaning,
But SRK will say, any publicity is good publicity. Even if it's negativity, bad news travels faster because people will talk about them.
You said it.
So did you know you'll get into it? No. You're not disagreeing.
Well, to some extent, all publicity is good publicity. It's just that in this particular case, for every filmmaker, a film is very close and dear to them. And I think it's really important that audiences watch the film and make their minds up for themselves, because, this is a film that's inspired by Nalin's own childhood. Growing up, in a village and falling in love with cinema. So, and in that sense, any film that is about film and that is about being inspired by film will have certain similar themes.
I guess, people are passionate and, people have passionate responses to things. And I don't even blame the audience completely because the people who said that, because they hadn't watched the film. It wasn't available for them to watch. So like Nalin and Sira say, October 14th is right around the corner. So we're really excited to see what people say. And Nalin did poke the bear with a couple of tweets.
That's what I'm saying. On a serious note, you are up against some really, really big stories and big banners. Were you surprised that you got picked ahead of some of the others?
Film is such a subjective medium. There's nothing binary about it. There's no black or white. A jury will make a selection, and I guess we just all have to go along with it. In this case, we were on the right side of the fence. In certain other cases, we might not have been. We're just honored and privileged to have been chosen, and we intend to put our best foot forward at the Academy Awards. We've got great partners in Sam Goldwyn Films in the US, and then we've got Orange Studios in Europe. They've been behind some of the most successful, films in the foreign language category in the last few years. And with their help and guidance, we intend to be able to get as many members of the Academy to watch the film as possible. The extent of, we talk about lobbying and it sounds like a lot of smoke and mirrors, but really it's about getting the Academy members to watch the film. And that's really what our intention is going to be in the next few months. And if Dheer wants to add anything to that, then Dheer, please go ahead.
अभी तक उसको talk time ही नहीं दिया ना धीर को.
I'm happy just listening. But no, I think adding to what Sid said, earlier it was really challenging to get Academy members to watch the film because you'd have to send them 35mm prints, wherever they were in the world, because how else do you get them to vote for the film? No one's going to vote for a film without watching it. And especially to get members of the international committee to watch the film because they have to watch all 15. The rules have changed slightly now, which has made it slightly easier for them to watch the film. There's a streaming platform that the Academy has, so they can watch it online, remotely, wherever they are in the world, which is great. And now the new rules say that if you're on the international committee, you have to watch all the 15 films that are assigned to you. It's just a compulsion. Otherwise, you're not allowed to vote. So it's become slightly easier. Of course, there's going to be a publicity campaign that needs to be put out, which will be extensive. And we're lucky to have Sid, us. We have Orange Studio. We have Samuel Goldwyn Films. So we have a few people there. And Sid has had experience before. He's had a couple of entries that have gone before. Both our partners have won multiple Academy Awards for films like The Father and The Artist, and just 2 years ago with another round. So I feel like we're in good hands, and we'll fight to get that nomination.
Bachchan Saab just turned 80. Happy birthday, Bachchan Saab. And he said that this is going to bring back the lost cause of celluloid and 35mm. But उनका एक dialogue है ना, मेरे पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, बैंक बैलेंस है, तुम्हारे पास क्या है? So this is a question that a lot of the other hopefuls are also asking. तुम्हारे पास क्या है? Because उनके पास गाड़ी है, बंगला है, बड़ा नाम है, बड़ा बैनर है, पैसा है.
हमारे पास सिनेमा है.
Hello and welcome. There have been multiple strikes across at least 10 cities in Ukraine, including in the capital Kiev. Moscow has confirmed that these were ordered by the Kremlin, directly by Vladimir Putin. This seems to be in retaliation for the Kerch Bridge in Crimea being blown up over the weekend. But with these multiple strikes, it seems highly unlikely that this war is going to end anytime soon. And more importantly, is Vladimir Putin showing that he's doubling down? Nothing less than an outright Ukrainian defeat will be enough for him. Nothing less can be a face saver after 7 months of this war.
Chaos, confusion, catastrophe. Sirens rang the air as multiple people were left dead after a series of explosions struck Kiev and several other Ukrainian cities. This was the moment when missiles rained down on the capital, captured by shell-shocked residents. A missile slammed into a glass bridge, which is a popular tourist spot. A playground in Kiev was one of the several civilian targets hit by the strikes. The purpose was clear: inflict as much damage and ensure as many casualties. While Russia's war has dragged on for nearly 8 months, the last time Kiev was struck was back in June. Recording a video while out on the streets, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of targeting energy infrastructure across the country.
They want panic and chaos. They want to destroy our energy system. They are hopeless.
The missile attacks in Ukraine come just 2 days after there was a massive explosion on a bridge linking Crimea to Russia. The blast on the bridge sparked celebrations across Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin admitted that Moscow had launched long-range missile attacks against Ukraine, calling it a response to terrorist acts by Kiev.
Russia's response will be tough, and its scale will be proportionate to the level of threats posed against us.
From mobilizing troops to annexing Ukrainian territory and now doubling down on the military conflict. Is Putin's escalation in Ukraine a losing strategy?
All right, let's go across to our guests. Sushant Sareen is Senior Fellow with the Observer Research Foundation. Fred Wires, a political analyst and a Russia affairs expert. Alexei Goncharenko is a member of Parliament of Ukraine. Mr. Goncharenko, I'll start with you first. Mr. Putin spoke to the television channels a short while back, and he said that this was in retaliation to what happened in Crimea over the weekend. Do you see this as a significant escalation by the Kremlin in this 200-day-long war? And what may the Ukrainian response be? Because as of right now, more than 10 cities, including your capital, Kiev, have been targeted.
Hello, that is one more lie from Putin, some retaliation. He started this war in 2014, in retaliation for what? Then he started full-scale invasion on February 24. And starting from February 24, every day we have missile attacks. Yes, this time they are very massive, but in general, that's nothing new for us. So I can't tell you, I don't know what are the reasons of Putin. Maybe he wants to show some kind that he is capable of to kill civilians. I don't know. The problem of Putin is that he showed that he is not capable to win over Ukrainian army. His army is losing. They are losing ground every day, starting from the end of August. And now I think this was an attack of desperation. He's desperate because he can't change the situation on the military front. He can't win over our army. So he started again, continues again to kill our civilians. Like he's saying we attacked military targets. What is military target? Playground, or university, Kiev University, or other places. They're completely and for sure not military targets. He just tries, and he made it on Monday morning when people are coming to the work, to inflict as many casualties as possible, to kill as many people as possible, and also to destroy energy infrastructure. So Russia is state terrorist, and Putin is terrorist number one in the world. And he
Mr.
just showed it again.
The Kremlin is saying that this is in response to the blowing up of the bridge in Crimea, the only bridge that connects Crimea to the Russian mainland. Although no group has taken responsibility, the Kremlin firmly believes that this was done by Ukrainian Secret Service agents. In fact, Mr. Putin in his address today said that this was a terrorist act. Do you believe that by bombing the Crimea bridge, you have brought in another front into this war?
What front? We have full-scale invasion from February 24. Don't you know this? He's targeting and hitting our cities, our kindergartens, schools, hospitals from February 24 every day. It was on Friday before Saturday explosion on Crimean Bridge. It was on Thursday. It was on Wednesday. It is every day. So when speaking, Ukraine will fight for our victory, for our land, because we don't have any other option. For us, it's to be or not to be. We have not started this war. We never wanted any war. We are the most peaceful nation on the planet. We are the only nation in human history which voluntarily in 1994 gave up nuclear weaponry. The only one. Well, the only thing we want is peace. But Putin just wants to kill all of us, to make genocide, to wipe out Ukraine from the map of the planet. But we will not let it happen. So we will win this war. And every day we will continue to liberate our towns, villages, and cities. And Putin will lose this war. But what he is doing today with this missile attack, with these attacks, once again shows that he is terrorist number one. And he is saying that something about terrorist attacks, it's very funny.
Let me ask Fred Weyer, who closely tracks the Kremlin and the Kremlin's responses. The Ukrainians are very clearly saying that even in today's attacks, the missile strikes hit civilian targets, including the University of Kiev. And there's this video that's gone viral of a young girl who was filming at the time that these missile attacks happened. How can Russia, how can Vladimir Putin convince the world that civilians are not on his target when the casualties on the ground seem to amply indicate that indeed civilian targets were hit today?
I think they always are. It's one of the mysteries of this particular operation, why after the first wave of